Yesterday, Poshmark held a training called Poshmark Search Hacks. It was exclusively for Poshmark ambassadors, at least those of us who were able to sign up in time. And it was supposed to share some tips for us experienced resellers to help get our items visible on the app as well as on Google. Unfortunately, it ended up just being a repeat of information from PoshFest 2021. If you guys did not attend PoshFest last year, they actually had a session called Undiscovering Discoverability with Google, and they went over Google Trends, trend spotting, how to get your listings to show up on Google Ads, how to get your listings to show up on Poshmark, and I already made a video recapping all of that information, so if you guys haven't watched that yet, you can go ahead and click right here and it'll take you to that video. So I was definitely disappointed when I was attending the Poshmark Search Hacks training yesterday because I already knew all of this information. They didn't really give us anything new, and considering that we were all Poshmark ambassadors, like we all really knew that information already. If you guys did not attend the training yesterday, I can almost guarantee you already knew that information anyway, and if you didn't, again, that video that I made last year has all of the resources that you will need to figure out how to get your items visible on Google and on Poshmark. Like I mentioned, there were a few things that kind of stood out to me. The first, and I think the biggest talking discussion about what happened yesterday, is that they announced a new feature. The new feature is that Poshmark is finally going to have saved searches. That means that you'll be able to filter through a specific search, save it so that when new listings come up that fit that search, you'll be notified. Other apps like Mercari and eBay already have this feature, so it's about time that Poshmark added it into their platform as well. What's cool about it is that you can turn this feature on and off. You will only get push notifications about saved searches if you go in and save that search. So if you want nothing to do with this, if you don't want to save search, if you don't want notifications or anything, just don't save a search and you won't get any of those emails or push notifications or alerts in the app. I think this is going to be great for those of us who like to do online sourcing. That's what I use this tool for on other apps like Mercari. I save my favorite brands that I like to sell in specific sizes or under specific prices, and so then whenever those items get listed under those requirements, then I get a notification and I can snatch those deals up really quickly. So highly recommend to use it in that way if you guys want to source online. This is also going to be great for personal shopping. A majority of the people who use Poshmark, the app, are just buying on there. I mean, I am mainly a seller, but I also do a lot of my shopping on Poshmark as well. So this is going to be an easy way for me to find exactly what I want without having to search through the app all the time. And this is why it's important to source items that people are searching for. Again, if you guys don't know how to find what items, what brands, what styles people are searching for, watch my other video because it gives you all the tools that you need to find that, and all the tools are free, so you don't have to worry about having to subscribe to something or buy something just to get this information. I'm hoping that this feature will help our sales, because essentially if we're listing things that people want, those items are going to get sent directly to the buyer and they'll be able to purchase it right away. So fingers crossed. I like to keep an optimistic mindset about the changes that Poshmark is doing right now. I know that it's not great for all of us. I've definitely seen a dip in sales recently, but I can only hope for the best. I can only be optimistic and do what I can and just hopefully trust that Poshmark knows what they're doing. Another thing that stood out to me, I kind of already mentioned, but this training was literally a reiteration of what they were sharing at PoshFest. I've been thinking about this for a while. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to say it out loud. It kind of seems to me like Poshmark told us that these changes were going to happen back when PoshFest happened. I distinctly remember during that session that the expert that they brought in from Google recommended that we have our listing titles mimic how the average person searches online. As resellers, we try to beef up our titles as much as we can, filling it with all the keywords and all the SEO, but the way that the algorithm is changing, you have to remember that it's all like a robot. It's all a computer system, and it isn't interpreting our listings to think that this item that may fit the buyer's search requests it's not making that connection. It's literally taking the titles that are a perfect match to what the person is searching and showing those up as the result. So even if somebody searches red mini dress in the search and our listings say, I'm making this up, but say our listing says like NBD, Revolve, red, halter, mini, sequin, dress, it still matches that search, right? But Poshmark isn't going to recommend that because it isn't word for word the same. I just think it's really interesting because I remember hearing that and I didn't really change my titles. I kept beefing my titles up the same way that we've been taught for a while. And I think that actually might have hurt my sales a little bit. And it's hard to look at now and hard to think about that because it's like they really did tell us that months ago and I just didn't do anything about it. But that's why some resellers I've noticed on Instagram have found some success selling by shortening their titles to blue mini dress or green pants or something like that, because that's what people, the average buyers, are searching on the app. Some things that I've been doing in my listings that have been helping me get more sales is shortening my titles. So I'm trying to get my titles to be a little bit more condensed and a little bit more like how the average buyer is searching. So as opposed to how I used to do my titles, for example, new, Revolve, NBD, red, halter, sequin, Janie, mini, sequin dress, size small. Instead, I will put NBD, Revolve, red mini dress. If it has a name on it, I'll attach it to that because I think that's important, but that's as short as I'll leave it. So even though we have the extended 80 characters, I don't use all of those 80 characters. I try to keep my titles a little bit shorter, but still factor in all of the important things that I think will hit on those searches. And then instead, I take all of those filler words and I put them in the description instead. So I've been elongating my descriptions, trying to get a little bit more detailed, and I will also at the bottom of all my descriptions add my own tags. So I will literally write tags and then I will write out a bunch of things, keywords, SEO, descriptive words that I think will match this item. So I'm still describing the piece of clothing accurately and I'm still adding all those keywords. I'm just putting them in a different section of my listing. But please, when you guys are doing this, I beg you, please put accurate tags, accurate keywords. Don't try to catfish people by saying that it's a certain brand when it's not, saying that it is for Love and Lemons or that it's Reformation when it's like Forever 21. Like, please do not do that. Make sure that you're adding relevant and descriptive keywords and that you're not just baiting people on. I like to add those in my description because we are only limited to those 3 tags in the drop-down list. There is an option for you to write out your own tags in that section, but I highly recommend for you to stick to the ones that are in the drop-down list. If I can't find one that matches, great. I'll use a pretty generic one like casual or spring, summer, winter, whatever the season that it matches. And then the other keywords that are more specific, I'll just add them into the description. I don't have a way to really gauge if this is the reason why my sales have gone up, but I think that it can be really helpful because you're still adding the keywords and all of the things that Poshmark wants us to, but just in different sections. And knowing where to put what is really important. I'd recommend just playing around with it and seeing what works best for you. Speaking of keywords and trends and all of that, I actually learned one thing during this session, and I may be really late to this feature, so if you already know about this, just disregard this. I thought this was really interesting. I thought this was actually a really cool thing to find out. So if you go into the Poshmark app and you go into the shop tab, you scroll down just a little bit, it's gonna say today's trends. Now, I've talked about this section before on Instagram. I think this is really great because it shows you current trends, and this is a great way to kind of stay on top of what people want, what people are searching for. Poshmark highlights different things every day in this section, and they're going off of what people are searching for. So they're not going to highlight something on here if it's not a good seller. So definitely check this in every day and kind of see what's going on. Of course, if you don't have like this specific thing, it's okay. I still think that it'll be trending tomorrow or the next day or the next week, but I think this is a really great way if you guys don't know how to find trends. What I did learn though is that if you go into one of these, and it could be any trend, and then you click on the top here where it says view details, it shows you all the details of this specific trend. I know that there's something similar for this when you like look at a party. It shows all the brands, categories, and all the things that make it relevant to that party, but this is specifically for these guidelines. Now, at the bottom here it says keywords. So the keyword here is cherry print. So if I have something in my closet that is cherry print, I need to go and make sure that it has that in the title, in the description, and the key tags, so that it will show up on this showroom. That is a great way for you guys to get more visibility on your items. I highly recommend checking that daily. And if you have items that fit in those categories, just go through the listings again, review them, and make sure that you have the right keywords in them. Because even if for example, if I had a cherry print dress and all I said was cherry, I didn't say cherry print, it might not show up in that category. So I'm going to want to go in and change that so that it does show up and people who are searching in those showrooms will see my items. But anyway, that's kind of everything that really stood out to me during this hack session. Honestly, it's not really a hack. Like, some of the facts that they were sharing and like the bonus facts and things that they were sharing in their slides were kind of bogus. Like, I think something was like, if you bulk share your closet, you'll share 2 times faster. Like, duh. There was something else that was like, if you share your items 1 to 2 times a day, you have a 20% higher sell-through rate. Like, share a single item. Things like that just like really don't make sense to me, and that's what confuses me about Poshmark, is like they know that there are sellers who are more experienced. Obviously, like, we make content online, we make content on Instagram, we share our experience, we do our own research on how the platform is working, and so like we know all of these things, but there are like things that they hide from us, which just doesn't make sense to me, and I just don't understand why they won't share that with us. Anyway, I'm hoping that they do more of these, but make them more informative and just make them more useful to us. I know the previous one, the like fireside chat, it wasn't necessarily a training, it was more of a chat. I wasn't able to make it to that one, but I also heard that that one was kind of a train wreck. So who knows, maybe Poshmark is learning each time that they do this, and that they will hopefully come up with a better service for us as resellers, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I also just got approved for Super Thanks, which is a feature that YouTube has where viewers and subscribers are able to show their thanks by tipping the creators. So if you guys see right under the video here, there should be a little heart with a money sign in it, and just know that that's there. If you ever feel so inclined to tip me, truly appreciate it. It goes to helping me buy better equipment for these videos, and honestly just paying me so that I can spend more time making informative videos like this one. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! We'll be right back.